weak and selfish man. You still think I am that naive wife?
You steal from my pot for another man's child? You are a thief, Folake. Bones? You feed me bones? You think I am a dog?
This one, it matches your eyes.
You always say that, even when I wear brown. Now they watch the story. Please subscribe, share and like.
There was a man in Ibadan. They call him Baba Saro. To the world, he was a businessman, a husband, a father, a man who wore agbada to meetings and spoke loudly in beer parlors about how he built everything from nothing. He had 3 wives: Bolanle, the first wife, the educated one, the chubby woman in the colorful headscarf, who would make a pot of soup stretch for 3 days and hide 1,000 naira in the hem of her wrapper. Ronke, the second wife, the one with cornrows and black gold beads, the mother of his 3 daughters he never named, the woman whose belly was growing with a secret that would break him, and Folake, the youngest, 23 years old, the one who brought a son into his house and spent every night stealing his future while he snored. To the world, they were the perfect family, the successful man, the obedient wives, the quiet compound on Alakia Street. But inside the walls of his compound, he was something else entirely. He was the man who counted every naira he gave his wives, then called them thieves when the food ran out. The man who grabbed arms, pulled hair, and called it discipline. The man who looked at his daughters and only saw disappointment, who looked at his wives and saw property. This is not a story about a good man who fell. This is a story about 3 women who decided enough. The day began like every other day in Baba Saro's compound, with hunger, with fear. Bolanle, the first wife, stood by the stove, her arm still burned from where he had pushed her 3 days before. She served the amala quietly, carefully, the way you serve a lion who might bite. But lions are never satisfied. He tasted the soup, his face twisted. He slammed the bowl. "The soup is watery," he screamed. "Where is the meat?" Bolanle tried to explain, tried to tell him that the money was not enough. He stood, grabbed her arm, and twisted it. "Nothing left?" he said. "So you eat my money and tell me there is nothing left. You steal from my pot. You feed your useless family behind my back." Bolanle winced, pleaded, swore she was telling the truth. "Swear!" He laughed, cruel, bitter. "You think your swearing means anything to me? You are a liar, Bolanle, a thief, a first wife who cannot even manage a kitchen. No wonder you could only give me 1 useless girl. Your womb is as empty as your head. I should have sent you back to your father, but I kept you, out of mercy. And this is how you repay me? With excuses, with lies?" He pulled her. She fell against the stove. And then he walked away, climbed into his old car, the engine started, gone to his business. Bolanle stayed on the floor, holding her burned arm, sobbing silently. Her daughter peeked from the doorway, terrified. Ronke is in her room as Baba Saro enters without knocking. His eyes went straight to her belly. "Stand up," he commanded. "Let me see you." Ronke stood, hand on her stomach, nervous. He walked around her, inspecting, like a farmer judging livestock. "The belly is growing," he said. "Good. This one better be different. This one better be a boy." She tried to speak, tried to hope, tried to say he wanted to give him a son. "What you want means nothing. What matters is what you produce. A son. And hair. A male child that will carry my name, my blood, my legacy." He leaned close and said to her, Listen carefully, my friend. If this baby is a boy, you will be my favorite. You will eat before the others. You will sleep in the big room. You will be mama of the head. He paused and then said, but if this baby is a girl, Ronke, don't bother coming back from the hospital alone. Don't step your foot into this compound. I will not feed another disappointment. I will not look after another useless girl. He patted her belly and she flinched. A boy or nothing. He walked out. Ronke collapsed onto the bed, holding her belly and sobbing silently. Folake was playing with her son Tunde, 3 years old, not Baba Saro's son, the son she brought into this marriage, the son he had agreed to raise, then spent every day resenting when the door flew open. Where is my food? He demanded. You did not give me money to prepare any food, but he snatched the boy from her arms roughly. I did not give you money for food, but you are here feeding this bastard son. This child is 3 years old. You cuddle him because he is not mine, because you know he's another man's bastard. She pleaded, begged him not to call her son that name. Why won't I call him that? He laughed. A child you brought to deceive me. You told me you could bear more sons. I paid off your father's debt. I married you as a used woman. And what did you give me back in return? Nothing. Your womb dried up. You are useless, Folake. He shoved the boy back to her. Take him, he said. Keep him quiet. I don't want to hear his crying. He reminds me of my failure. He grabbed her face. You steal from my pot for another man's child. You are a thief, Folake, a liar and a deceiver. And then he pushed her and walked away. Folake stayed on the floor, rocking Tunde, whispering promises she was not sure she could keep. During dinner, the one time the three wives were together, the one time Baba Saro made sure they were together so they could watch him eat. Where is the chicken I bought yesterday? He asked. They told him that he had finished it yesterday. He stood, walked to the pot, looked in. Bones! He sneered. You feed me bones? You think I'm a dog? Folake tried to explain, tried to say they could buy more tomorrow if he gave them more money. He slapped her. More money? For what? To feed your bastard son? No dinner tonight, he announced, for any of you. Since you want to eat my meat, eat air, drink water, fill your bellies with obedience. He took the pot of soup, carried it to his room, and slammed the door. The three women stood in silence, knowing that none of their children would eat that night. They were all sad. Folake looked at the two, and for the first time she asked, how long, sisters? How long what? They asked. How long before one of our children dies? Before your daughters grow up thinking they deserve nothing? Or how long before we stop waiting for God to punish this man? I am saying we have been three women in one house, acting like strangers, while one man eats, sleeps, and beats us like we are nothing. What if we stop being strangers? What if we stop being victims? They put their hands together over the empty table, over the hunger, over the fear. Tonight, Bolanle whispered, after he sleeps, let's meet at the small room behind the generator house and talk about what to do. As the women sat down alone together, they realized they had never been alone together before. Baba Saro made sure of that. Divide and conquer, make them compete for scraps, make them believe his cruelty was the only currency that mattered. But hunger makes strange alliances. I have never been in a room with both of you, Bolanle said. Alone, he made sure of that. They shared what he had told each of them, the lies, the manipulations, the way he made them fear each other so that they could never unite. Then Bolanle grew serious. Sisters, she said, swear on your children's life. What I say here never leaves this room. They swore. I have been saving money, she revealed. 6 years, small, small. I have saved 2.2 million naira. Ronke stared, shocked. How? He counts what he sees now. He doesn't see what a desperate woman hides in her wrapper, in her hair, in the soles of her shoes. Folake spoke next. I have stolen all his land documents, she said. The one in Moniya, Ojo, Egbeda, and all his gold jewelry too. I replaced them with the fake ones. I plan to sell them and use the money to leave the country. They were all shocked. Then, Ronke, quietly, she said, The pregnancy is not for Baba Saro. It's for a man called Dele. Bolanle and Folake looked at each other, then at her. We sabi now, Bolanle said. The market women gossip. We have heard it all. And we have kept your secret, Folake added, because your secret is our secret. Ronke was shocked. Then Bolanle took her hand. We will make sure Baba Saro never knows, she said, until it is too late, until we are all gone, until he is nothing. We don't need to kill him, Folake said. We need to unmake him, piece by piece, until he is exactly what he made us feel like. They put their hands together over the candle, over the secret. May the gods forgive us, Bolanle whispered. May they not, Ronke replied. May they remember we had no choice. May they know Folake finished. We are not wives anymore. We are at war. 1 week later, Bolanle walked into a small bank, opened a new account under her maiden name, and deposited the sum of 1 million naira. The cashier told her that the transfer would be done in 1 hour, and the account, it will be ready by closing time. As Bolanle was walking out of the bank, she said to herself, 6 years. 6 years of, yes, Baba, sorry, Baba, forgive me, Baba. And all this while, I was building a bridge that leads out of his kingdom forever. Bolanle, you do well, oh, as she laughs out loud. Meanwhile, at the fabric market, Dele held up a blue wrapper. This one matches your eyes, she said to Ronke. Ronke smiled. You always say that, she laughed, even if it is brown. Because everything matches your eyes, he replied. Everything beautiful does. He touched her hand. She did not flinch. She leaned into it. Dele, she whispered, the baby, it is a boy. His eyes widened, then softened, filled with something she had never seen in Baba Saro's face. Love, unconditional love. A boy, a son, our son. But Saro cannot know, she said urgently, not until we are gone. He thinks the child is his. He thinks he has finally won. Dele nodded, steady and certain, and then he knelt down right there in the market and said to her, marry me, Ronke. People were staring, whispering, and pointing. But the new Ronke, she didn't care anymore. That morning, in Baba Saro's room, Folake is kneeling and she says, I'm going to visit my parents. They are taking me to see a herbalist for womb cleansing and to help me conceive a son for you. Baba Saro puffed his chest and smiled. I'm giving you 7 days, he said. And if you're not back, don't bother coming back at all. Folake bowed her head, thanked him, and left. She picked up the bag, heavy with clothes, heavy with jewelry, heavy with land deeds, heavy with years of silence. Goodbye, Baba Saro, she whispered. You gave me 7 days. I'm giving myself forever. She walked out of the gate, never looking back. 3 days later, Baba Saro sat with his friend Bamidele, drinking, laughing, still believing he was a king. I heard something strange, Bamidele said, about your wife, Ronke. The market women gossip. They say her pregnancy, it is probably not yours. They said she has been with this man they call Dele, the fabric seller. Baba Saro laughed, waved it away. Ronke, pregnant by another man? You have been drinking too much, Obamidele. Saro, I tell you because I care. The gossip is loud. Everyone is talking. Everyone. They said he even proposed to her at the market square the other day. Baba Saro stood, glass shattered. No, she is my wife, my property. He immediately left the bar, ran home, drove like a madman, burst through the door. Ronke, Ronke. She stood in the hallway, calm. Why they shout my name like that? Saro? Have you gone mad? You don't colo. Saro is shocked and taken aback. He grabbed her arm and screamed, You whore! Bamidele tells me that the market woman's gossip, that this pregnancy is not mine. Is it true? Runke pulled her arm free. Calmly answered him. Yes, Baba, she said. It is. The baby is not yours. In fact, none of my children are yours. Waiting you go do. Baba Saro staggered back, white, shaking. Not even the first one? Yes, not even the first one, not the second, and not the third, and not this one. They are all Dele's from the beginning, the love of my life. Why? He screamed. I fed you, I clothed you, I gave you a name. A name I never wanted, Saru. I married you because my parents forced me, not because I love you. You clothed me in fear. You gave me a name that meant property. Dele gives me love. He gives me respect. He gives me a name that means partner. That is why I am leaving. To marry him, to raise my children, my real children with a man who sees me. Baba Saro collapsed against the wall. No, they are my daughters, so you cannot take them. Immediately, she walked out of the door. Baba Saro in his compound, empty, broken, drunk, angry. He found Bolanle packing her daughter's clothes. You, he screamed. You knew. You knew about Rungabi. You said nothing. I knew, Baba, she said calmly. We all knew. You were just too proud to see, too blind to notice, too stupid to ask. He raised his hand to slap her. She caught it and pushed him back. Don't you dare raise your dirty hands on me again, she said. You want to talk to me rudely again. You weak and selfish man. You still think I'm that naive wife? That girl who trembled when you walked into the room. She is gone, oh, Saru. She died the day you burned my arm. She died the day you called my daughter useless. She died 1,000 deaths in your house. And now I am Bolanle Adeyemi, not Bolanle Saru, not your property, my own woman. You, how dare you? I'm your husband. I am a man. A man? She laughed. You? A man who cannot father children. A man whose son was never his. A man whose heirs were fathered by a fabric seller. You are not a man, Baba Saro. You are impotent, not just in your womb, in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. You are a walking emptiness, and I'm done filling your void. She paused, smiled, wicked smile. Oh, and one more thing. The land in Monia, Folake has sold it. The gold under your bed. Folake, she took it, all of it. Your empire, they are all gone. Signed away by the wife you called a thief. And news flash, she don't run, leave you. She is not coming back again. Baba Saro's eyes widened, world collapsing. No, no, impossible. The land is mine, my father's land. He ran, stumbling, crawling to his room, pulling the locked box from under the bed, hands shaking, finally opening it. All the property documents are gone, and his jewelry also gone, replaced with fake ones. No, no, thieves, evil women, my land, my God, my father's legacy. He collapsed, crying, tears streaming. I am finished. Mogbeo, Mogbeo, somebody help me. They have killed me. They have taken everything. Bolanle stood in the doorway watching, not with pity, but with satisfaction. You finished? She asked. Yes, Saru, you are finished. You are finished because you thought we were finished. You thought we are nothing. But now you are the nothing. Today, Bolanle runs a clothing business in Lagos. Bolanle's Fabrics. Busy, thriving, customers are going in and out, and she is happy. Ronke lives in Abeokuta with Dele as one big happy family. And Folake is seen at the airport with her son Tunde as they are about to leave the country to start over in Canada. And Baba Saro, he sits in a small room, stares at the ceiling, mumbling names over and over. Bolanle, Folake, Ronke, come back. I forgive you. I forgive you. No one answers. No one has answered in 3 years. He whispers one last time. I was Baba Saro.